Hi, I'm Dr. Yvette Kennedy, and today's live, I am going to tell you the 7 C's to teaching your toddler to read. So, um, before I go any more, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Okay, I'm Dr. Yvette Kennedy. I have 4 children. All of my children graduated from college, and because they graduated from college with honors. They had scholarships. They uh, were blessed, okay? We were blessed. And the reason I say we were blessed is because they graduated from college, but not only did they do that, they graduated, 3 of them got full scholarships to go to college that paid for 10 years worth of education. And, I'm just blessed. God has blessed us in this area. So, with that being the case, I did some research and I used to think that my children were just smart or that they were just average, that that's what everybody did. Everybody's children made good grades, everybody's children did these same things, everybody's children learned in school. Um, but once I started having grandchildren, I realized that that was not the case because my daughter told me that my granddaughter, my first granddaughter, was light years ahead of all of her friends when she would go to play with other children. So with that, what happened was I started thinking, okay, maybe there is something to it because my daughter kept telling me, "Mom, you're doing something that is different, and you need to help others to find out about it." So we did some research, wrote a couple of grant requests so that we could incorporate some things or teach parents. But with that research, I found out that a lot of the things that I did with my children were things that helped to qualify them for those grants, even though I did not know it at that time, but those were programs that were implemented at that time. Now, one of the first things that I need to tell you is that I was with my children when they were young. And I think that me retiring from practicing optometry was probably one of the best decisions in my life because I was there with them. I didn't really know how to raise children. um, and who does? I mean, really, with my children were book babies. And thank God I had very good books, though. So, um, I was home with them, and I realize after doing even more research that those years were very, very instrumental in them learning to love learning, okay? And them having the attitude that they had towards learning, which they love to read. And by loving to read, that makes you smarter because you're reading more. They also love math. So, the 3 of the students got the full scholarships, and those scholarships were, after I calculated, those scholarships paid for over $2 million worth of their education. And it was something that, like I said, it started early. Started with me teaching them things early. That scholarship was the Gates Millennial Scholarship that they got. And they don't have the millennial scholarship anymore that goes from for 10 years to get your doctoral degree. However, they do have the Gates scholarship, which is available to the application opens in August or September, late August or mid September, for those of you who have rising seniors next year. You can apply for that then. But long story short, I do volunteer for the Gates Scholarship now. I am an interviewer and I also read the essays. So this is just a little bit of background about me so that you will know that I'm talking to you from experience. I'm not talking to you from something I read in a book, but I'm talking to you from something I do every day. I work with my grandchildren. I have one grandchild that I work with now on a regular basis, and he is 16 months old. So when I started doing these videos, it was about maybe 6 months ago, and we started going through some things as far as daily activities for you to do with your toddler. For those of you who have watched me before, hopefully you are still doing those things, but I wanted to do this video because um, I wanted to do it because I thought that it would be good for those of you who are watching who have never watched me before or watched anything that I said or videoed. Um, there are 7 things or 7 C's to teaching your toddler to read before age 2 or while they're a toddler. It works for both. One, the very first thing is compassion. Okay, what is compassion? Compassion is love and caring for your child. Every parent cares for their child. Every normal parent cares for their child. And we love our children and we want them to succeed and we want them to do better than what we did. So that love for your child is the first thing that is needed to be able to teach that child to read. Okay. The second thing is commitment. You have to make a decision. Okay. A commitment is when you make a decision that you're going to do something and you're going to see it all the way through. Okay. And you're not going to stop. You're going to do it regardless. Okay. And finish it. So the next thing, so that's one was compassion, two was commitment, three is consistency. Consistency means that you have to get into a routine and you have to do it no matter what. Okay. So you have to show up at all times. So that's the consistency and being the same every time with your toddler. Because believe it or not, when you are consistent with them, they learn to expect that. And you are training them of what will happen. So consistency is very important because it also gives your toddler structure. Um, it gives them structure so that they will know what is expected of them. Okay. Next, the next C. Okay, so we had compassion, we had commitment, and we had consistency. The next C is composure. Okay. Composure. Composure is patience. And patience and composure are the ability to remain calm and self possessed and uncomplaining while you're waiting. And you have to be that way, have that composure and that patience because guess what? It doesn't happen overnight. No, your toddler is not going to read overnight. It's going to take months and maybe even a year, depending on when you start with them. The younger you start, I think it's the better. I started with my grandson and usually my grandchildren around 6 months. And I did a video where you can go back and look at it, but I may do another one to just update. Um, but with that, I start by just showing them the alphabets on an alphabet puzzle and reading to them. So, anyway, patience is where I was. That's what I was talking about. Patience, because it doesn't happen overnight. So, you do have to be patient with your little one. okay, and with yourself, okay. Then we've had, okay, so we had compassion, we had commitment, we had consistency, we had composure or patience. The next C is you have to be complimentary. And complimentary means that you give praise to your toddler. You have to encourage your toddler when they do the small or make the small advances. And I'll show you in other videos what that looks like. Okay. It's like, and you also have to be animated when you're complimenting them. Like when my grandson does something like in the beginning, I teach him take out one at a time of the alphabet puzzles. And at first, of course, he doesn't know what I'm talking about. So I have to guide his hand into the bag and pull the thing out with him and tell him one at a time, take out one at a time. So when he realizes what that means and he starts doing it on his own, oh, it's such a big thing. I said, good job. You did so well. And I'll take his little hands and clap them together. Say, yay, Carter. Yay, you did a good job. And he enjoys that. So when he does it, when he does, I think the next time he does that action, he looks at me and he's ready for that. Yay, Carter. Okay, so complimentary, and you have to be animated in your praise to them and your encouragement. Okay, so, okay, we've got compassion, which is love, commitment, a decision to see the whole thing through, consistency, you're going to do it no matter whether it's rain, sun, or snow. You're going to do it. You're going to be consistent. Composure, you're going to be patient and complimentary. You're going to be praiseworthy of your toddler. Okay. Then the sixth thing is content. The content is what you are using to teach them to read with. And in the beginning, when they are 6 months, well, he's 16 months now. So we are still using the alphabet puzzle, but now he has progressed to where he can actually take the letter out of the bag and put it on the puzzle, and he is finding the places on the puzzle to put it. And so on some of the letters he's even saying the letters. So I'm seeing the improvement, and so that is one form of content. The other types of content that I have for him are books, um, ABC books. Um, when since he is older now, I do allow him to have some um, screen time where he's watching the alphabets on the screen while we are eating. That's the only time that I really give him screen time, is while he's eating. And because I make that into a teaching time. So, content, you have to have good content and know what content is appropriate for their age levels. And then, number seven is you have to have a child safe, fun learning area or learning environment. Okay. And if you see behind me, there are, I have things laid out here, which are the puzzle parts. He knows how to go to get those. Usually, these jars are on the floor so that he can reach them easily. And then I have all of his books in a book rack that's on the floor and easily reachable for him. And also in that book rack, I have puzzles for him. And he goes and picks the puzzle that he wants and brings it to me now. So these are the 7 C's that are needed to teach your child, your toddler, to read. And they are, once again, compassion, consistency, commitment, composure or patience, complementary, being complimentary of your toddler, content, and child safe, fun learning place. And so these are the 7 C's that you need to teach your toddler to read. 7 C's that you need to teach your toddler to read. And again, it doesn't take long for you to do it each day. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, that's all it takes. Okay. Now, I do want to tell you one other thing. I want to give a shout out to a STEM camp that is here in the Atlanta area. It's actually in Snellville, and it is I Am STEM Camps. And if you want to look at it for your child, now they have them in Gainesville, Florida, Stark, Florida, the Atlanta area, which is in Snellville. They have them in Lawton, Oklahoma, Kingston, Jamaica. So the age groups are from 2 to 8, depending on which site you or what location you are in. So I encourage you to go to iamstemcamps.com, and I will give you the number is 770-343-7319. And that's for the Atlanta or Snellville area. So if you're interested in that, what happens is if you expose your children, and this is for older than your toddler, well, some of them have 2-year-old classes, but I think the majority of them are K through 5. But look at those for your other children if you have more than just your toddler. And that what that does is it exposes them to professions, to careers. It exposes them to science things, science subjects, so that they will be able to know, hey, I might want to be an engineer one day, or hey, I might want to be a scientist, or hey, I think I might want to be a meteorologist. So these are things that the exposure for your child means. They might say, wow, I like this math. I never knew it could be so much fun. So that's why I'm telling you about that. And it is iamstemcamps.com. Go there and take a look at it. If you don't have a place for your child to be for the summer, then that may be a very good place to be. And for the Atlanta area, their camp goes from June 15th through July 10th. And you can look it up. And I hope that I've helped you in some way. If you have liked anything that I've said today or gotten anything out of it, please hit the subscribe. And also, I've got a I've got a surprise. This is my new book that I launched last month. And if you would like to take a look at it, you can go to Rhymes for Young Minds. Rhymes for Young Minds.com. Rhymes for Young Minds.com. I'll put it in the comments. And I'm going to be going over it in a story time at on a different level, but it'll teach you how to teach your child or how to read stories to your child for them to learn at toddler age. Okay, so that's that. Rhymes, again, rhymesforyoungminds.com. And also, while you're there, you can sign up for my email list and I can get you the information for when I'm going to start going through the book and showing you how to interact with your toddler or your pre-K child, how to interact with them so that they will learn and get the most out of their reading experiences and the story time with you. All right. So that is it for tonight. And you guys have a blessed night. And tomorrow, get started with those 7 C's and be consistent in teaching your toddler to read. Thanks.